The Houston Rockets have enough to go all the way, and I could not be more in on this team. Ladies and gentlemen, the start of the NBA season is here. It is opening night. We've got a great game ahead of us between the reigning defending champions in the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Houston Rockets with their new shiny toy, Kevin Durant. I cannot wait for this game. I cannot wait for this season. This team has so much hype and anticipation coming into this year, deservedly so, and I can't wait to see how they perform because Kevin Durant is still one of the premier elite players in the National Basketball Association, and I believe that he is the missing piece that the Rockets have needed to finally get over this hump. Let's break it all down. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caden Kubler, and thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I am just stunned. I've been stunned really this entire offseason with this move ultimately for Kevin Durant to go from Phoenix to Houston. That stunned me in the first place. But then I just got this sense of optimism, this sense of hope for Houston because I was really disappointed with how things ended for them last year. I understood that this was a young team with Jalen Green, with Alperen Sengun, with Amin Thompson, with Jabari Smith, a lot of youth on this team overall, but they needed a true puzzle piece that would put this entire masterpiece together per se. And that's what Kevin Durant gives you. Kevin Durant obviously is one of the elite scorers that this game has ever seen. And he's still getting it done at such a high level, even though he is getting up there a little bit in age. He just turned 37 years old, but last year you could argue was still such an elite season. Now, he wasn't an all-NBA player. He missed out because he had that ankle injury late in the season. So that ultimately hindered him from being an all-NBA player. But that does not mean that Kevin Durant is not one of the elite players in the NBA. He was sixth in the league in scoring. He averaged over 26 points per game. And Kevin Durant now goes to this Houston team that was missing offense in the postseason. That was the biggest struggle for them in the playoffs last year. Jalen Green was a guy that averaged 21 points per game. He was the leading scorer for the Rockets last year, a guy that they drafted high. They felt that he was going to be the franchise player. And when you go into a series against the Warriors, you're obviously going up against Steph. You're obviously going up against Jimmy Butler. You're going up against a hot Warriors team. But if you're Jalen Green, you've got to be the best player on the floor for the Houston Rockets, and he was simply not that. In the postseason, he really struggled. He went from a guy that was averaging 21 points per game in the regular season to somebody that shrunk and averaged 13 points per game in that playoff series against the Warriors. Alperen Sengun stayed pretty consistent. He averaged nearly 21 points per game. He rises his level of play a little bit. But you're now getting Kevin Durant, who averaged over 26 points per game, a guy that's always been terrific in the playoffs, one of the elite scorers in the game. I can't emphasize that enough. That's what Houston needs, folks. They need that elite scoring in the big moments. They need somebody that when it's close, when you're going up against the reigning defending champs like we're going to see tonight, when you're going up against Stephen Curry, when you're going up against Nikola Jokic, you need somebody that can go up and get you a bucket in crunch time. And that's what Kevin Durant adds to this Rockets team. And that's why I'm thrilled for them. I am so excited to see how he can add that missing piece to the Rockets because they have the culture with Ime Udoka. He has done such a tremendous job of turning the Rockets into a contender in such a short time period. The Rockets last year won the fourth most games in total in the NBA. They were the 2 seed in the Western Conference. Now, obviously, Oklahoma City really ran away with the West. They were unstoppable. But for Houston to still get the number 2 seed in the West with the amount of talent that you had in that conference, I mean, man, that's an impressive feat right there. So I feel great about the Rockets. Now, it's a bummer that they lost Fred VanVleet to the ACL injury. That is really going to be something that hurts them. Great veteran presence as a guard. We just saw the official starting 5 for Houston. It was just released on Monday, actually, as I'm sitting here recording this. It's Tuesday, the 21st, just before 10 a.m. We're about, 6.5 hours away from this opening night game between the Rockets and Thunder. But starting 5 got released yesterday. We got Amin Thompson at the point guard, Kevin Durant at the shooting guard, Jabari Smith, small forward, Alperen Sengun, power forward, and Steven Adams as your center. Now, this is a freaking huge lineup, first of all. Not one guy under 6'7". Don't get me with that one. If you know, you know. Amin Thompson, 6'7". Everybody else is 6'11". I mean, that is ridiculous. That is a ridiculous lineup. And for Houston, they already had a great defense. They already had one of the top defenses in the NBA last year. They allowed the sixth fewest points per game in total, and they had the fourth best defensive rating last season. And you're now adding Kevin Durant, who not only is a great offensive player, I just raved about his offense, elite scorer. Yes, I mean, whatever hyperbole, whatever synonym you want to put with elite scorer, easy money sniper, put it there, please, because that's Kevin Durant. But where I don't think he gets enough credit sometimes is he's actually statistically one of the best defenders in the NBA too, which is absolutely wild considering maybe you'd expect a guy that is so good offensively to maybe be a little worse as his career progresses, especially when you get up to 36, 37, 38. When you get up to that, maybe you're expecting the defense to fall off a little bit, but no, Kevin Durant, I mean, I know the Suns defense was really bad last year. He was probably the best defensive player on the team. I mean, he was a defensive anchor. He was really good. Him or Ryan Dunn were the two best defensive players. So he's going to not only be this great offensive piece, but he's going to fit into the Ime Udoka system really well. When Ime was an assistant for the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant was on that team. So they already know how to play with one another. They already know the systems that Durant is going to be inputted into. So it's going to make this transition even more seamless, in my opinion, which really will help out this Rockets team. It's going to help them to be a day one contender. I don't think it's going to take them that long for Kevin Durant to really fit in. It's almost going to be like, hey, Şengün, you're going to be a guy that's going to go put up 20 points a game. We understand that. Jabari Smith, we want to see you turn into Kevin Durant Jr. That's what a lot of people viewed Jabari Smith as, this 6'11", freakishly good scorer. That's how you view Jabari Smith coming out of college. And now for him to be able to be the protege almost and to learn under Durant, this is really good for the Rockets, not only for right now, but for the future too. With the Van Vliet injury, and I already felt this before the Van Vliet injury, you needed Amen Thompson and Jabari Smith to take a step. You needed one of them to take a big step, preferably, but I view Amen Thompson as not only is this just freakishly good defender, he's one of the most athletic players in the league. He's so explosive getting to the rim. If he could just develop a consistent jump shot, 3-point shot, it's over for the league. I'm sorry, it's over. Jabari Smith averaged 12 points a game last year. If he can even increase that a little bit, I think this Houston team is going to be, quite frankly, unstoppable. I mean, the defense is going to be so tough to score on. It's going to be ridiculous. You add all of this scoring with Kevin Durant, not only what he's going to do with the ball in his hands, but just the spacing, the sheer spacing that this is going to add for a guy like Amen Thompson to slash to the rim, for Şengün to get great looks underneath, for Jabari Smith to really open up his 3-point game and really open up his bag off the dribble as well. This is great. This is great for Houston, and I've been so excited to see what this team can do, how they can put it all together on the court this season, because they are going to be one of the elite teams in the NBA this year. Really, when I look at the Western Conference, you've got a lot of great teams. It's really tough to leave off some squads. You've got the Spurs, who are an emerging contender. I mean, you've got so many teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that are going to be a lot better. Realistically, when you look at the top tier contenders in the West, of course you have to put the Oklahoma City Thunder. They were so good last year, and they're not going to miss a beat. They've got everyone returning, and they're going to get better. So you've got Oklahoma City at number one. In my opinion, I think Denver's all the way back. They added so much shooting, and that was the biggest thing that they needed in the playoffs, and they didn't get it. But now you add shooting for the best player on the planet who can get anyone open. Good luck. I think Denver's right there. I would say the Rockets are the final team that can realistically be a championship contender out of the West. I think the Lakers can be good. I think the Warriors can be good, but they can't beat Oklahoma City in a 7-game series. They can't beat Denver in a 7-game series, and I don't think they can beat the Houston Rockets in a 7-game series. I view this as a 3-horse race right now in the Western Conference, and Houston is absolutely in that conversation. I'm so excited to see what they can do. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it all. I almost want to go as far as to say I think Kevin Durant can win the MVP this year, because to win the award, you not only have to have the scoring, but you've got to have the wins. Houston is going to have both of those things. Kevin Durant is going to have both of those things. I am so excited for Durant, for Houston. Let's see what they can do tonight. Huge opening night game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Caden Kubler, and we'll see you guys later.